ಸಂಸಾರದಾವಾಲಲಿದಲೋಕ ತ್ರಣಯ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಘನ ಘನತ್ವಂ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣನವಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಭೋ ಕೀರ್ತನ ನಿತ್ಯ ಗೀತಾ ಪಾದಿತ್ರ ಮಾದ್ಯನ್ ಮನಸೋರಸೇನಾ ರೋಮಾಂಚಕಂಪ ಶ್ರುತರಂಗಭಾಜೋ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀವಿಗ್ರಹಾರಾಧನ ನಿತ್ಯನಾನಾ ಶೃಂಗಾರತಾನ್ಮಂದಿರಮಜನಾದೌ ಯುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಭಕ್ತಾಂಶ ನಿಯುಂಜತೋಪಿ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ ಚತುರ್ವಿಧಾ ಶ್ರೀ ಭಗವತ್ಪ್ರಸಾದೋ ಸ್ವಾದ್ವನ್ನ ತೃಪ್ತಾನ್ ಹರಿಭಕ್ತ ಸಂಘಾನ್ ಕೃತ್ವೈವ ತೃಪ್ತಿಂ ಭಜತ ಸದೈವ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀರಾಧಿಕಾ ಮಾಧವಯೋರಪಾರ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯಲೀಲಾ ಗುಣರೂಪನಾಮ್ನಾಂ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣಾ ಸ್ವಾದನಲೋಲುಪಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ ನಿಕುಂಜಯೂನೋ ರತಿಕೇಲಿ ಸಿದ್ಧೈ ಯಾಯಾಲಿಭಿರ್ಯುಕ್ತಿರಪೇಕ್ಷಣೀಯ ತತ್ರ ತ್ರಿದಕ್ಷಾತತಿವಲ್ಲಭಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣಾರವಿಂದಂ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾದರಿತ್ರೇಣ ಸಮಸ್ತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೈರ್ ಉಕ್ತಸ್ತಥಾ ಭಾವ್ಯತ ಏವ ಸಾದ್ಭಿಃ किन्तु प्रभोया प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायं सुवंसस्य यशस्वी सन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् न्यायं सुवं सस्य यशस्विसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिसतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav, Radha Nila Madhav, Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadrama. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha. Jayo Sitaram, Jayo Sitaram, Jayo Sitaram, Jayo Lakshman Hanuman. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Om Shnupada Paramahamsa Prajaka Acharya Shtota Shata Shishimadi's Divine Grace Aparachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON PPTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Shnupada Paramahamsa Prajaka Acharya Ashtota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath-puri Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samavrita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalaadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Tilatanka nakhalaye Ito narsimha parato narsimha Yato yato yami tato narsimha Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakha Adbuddha Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhringam Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Narsimha Dev, Jai Narsimha Dev, Jai Narsimha Dev, Jai Narsimha Dev. जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नरसिंह भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय 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 प्रभुपाद
वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुपार्थिपते देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुपार्थिपते देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुपार्थिपते देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pabo E Abhilashi Radha Krishna Seva Pabo E Abhilashi जे तुम्हार शरण लोय तारा वंश पूर्ण होय मुराये अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास नायाने रिबो सदा युगल रूपरासी एनिवेन दानादारो सखीरनुगत करो दानादारो सेवाधिकारा दिए करो निज दासी दीना कृष्णा दासे को ये ना मोरा होय दीना कृष्णा दासे को ये ना मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये नवासी श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये नवासी श्री नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः यानि कानि च पापानि प्रमाथ्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि प्रमाथ्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति यानि कानि च पापानि प्रमाथ्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्याधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्याधिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
And Krishna. I beg you to make me follow Karo Danso's virtue. Please give me the priest devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in matter of chanting holy names that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme devotees who dedicate their life for propagating holy name the Lord. 2. To consider name the demigods Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuant Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strengths of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna with auspicious ritual activities, offering the Veda fruity activities, karma, ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about glorious holy name. 10. To have complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in your understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna, Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are desired trees who can fulfill to everyone, and their full compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shastakam Ki Jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Bhavamaha Tavakni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairavan Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Pudivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamita Sadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tava Kripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Disham Iha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Nathanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Tvai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Puto Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Duri Satisham Vichintaya Nayanam Garadashru Daraya Vadanam Gadgada Rudaya Gira Pulakai Nichitam Vapurukada Tava Nama Kahane Bhavishati Yuga Idam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravisha Idam Shunya Idam Jagasarvam Govinda Virahe Name Ashirishava Padaratam Pinnashtumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karotuva Yatha Tathava Vitatatu Lampato Matprana Natastu Saeva Naparaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shastakam Ki Jai. Glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life for repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction human beings. Thus we have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have vested in all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I'm so unfortunate and I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tall than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be rated of all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me at one Adam to lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears, love flowing constantly when I chant the holy name, while my voice choke up, while hurts my body stand and recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation comes a moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shastakam Ki Jai. Shri Mangala Aarti prayers Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine นิวิชิชาชุญญวาติปัจจตเตชะตาริเนนะมะองค์วิชณุปาดายะคริชณพฤษฐายพุตเตชิมเตภักติสถานทสารสวตีตินามิเนชีวารชปานิวิเตวิเตยตายคริปัปเตยคริชณสัมปันเดวิญญาณตายเนพระปวินนมหมาตุโยจลเพมาเตชิรูปานุกภักติตชิกรครุณาชักติวิกรหายนมสตุเตNamaste Gauravani Shi Mutaye Dina Tarine Rupanuga Viruta Pasatanta Twanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Saksha Vairagya Mutaye Vipalambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhumistvam Nirtishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarabhama Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpa Tarupischa Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavne Pyo Vaishnave Pyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishin Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinapanto Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sratoro Pangor Mama Manta Mater Kati Masarva Swapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindadana Kalpadrumata Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shimadratha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaribi Sevyamano Smarami Shiman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsi Vata Tatastitaha Karasham Venu Suner Gopir Gopinatha Shiestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishvari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalachana Prayers Ki Jai Shri Pamasamhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradia Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasu Kalpaviksha Lakshaveteshu Surabi Rabi Parayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Brahmasevyamanam Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Talaya Daksham Parharvatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gantarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shopam Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantakala Savanamare Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakiri Kalavilasam Shamam Tripanga Lalitam Nyata Prakasham Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimmaya Satujala Vigrahasya Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedesho Durapam Adurapam Atma Bhakto Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pantastu Koti Shatavasara Sampragamyo Vayurathapi Manaso Munipangavanan Sopyasti Yaprapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sorachayetum Jagatanta Kotim Ya Chakti Rasti Jagatanta Chayaya Dantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Bhavita Diyo Manuchasta Teva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Pushaha Suktaryam Eva Nikama Patitai Stuvanti Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananta Chimma Rasa Padipavitapis Tapheya evan jarupataya kalapihi Goloka evan nivasati khilatma bhutto Govindamadi purusham tamaham pajami Premanjana churuta bhakti velochanena Santa sateva hitayeshu vilokayanti Yam shama sundam achintya guna swarupam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Ramadi murtishu kala niyamena tishtan Nanavatarama bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samapava parama pumam yo Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna, who is not Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes filled with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with a hue of blue cloud, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in the pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purush. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between the potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas by getting their appropriate beauty, greatness through its conveyances and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of these 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidants, Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of a bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyamasundara Krishna himself with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrisimha, Vamana, etc., as is subject to portion Sri Brahma Samhita. Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 7.1. Purport. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidinoti suhrit satam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye cheta eter anavedam sitam satve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavat bhakti yogatah भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गश्च जायते विद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्वसमस्या क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamshayam, sangram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth, personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 40. Vishrajya tatra tat sarvam dukula valayadikam nirmamo nirahankaraha sanchinna sesha bandhana vishrajya, relinquishing, tatra, all those, tat, that, sarvam, everything, dukula, belt, valaya adikam, and bangles, nirmamaha, uninterested, nirahankaraha, unattached, sanchina, perfectly cut off, ashesha bandhana, unlimited attachment. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, belt, and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To become purified of material contamination is a necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates of the Lord. No one can become an associate of the Lord or can go back to Godhead without such purification. Maharaj Yudhishthira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. The kasaya or saffron loincloth of a sannyasi indicates freedom from all attractive material garments, and thus he changed his dress accordingly. He became disinterested in his kingdom and family, and thus became free from all material contamination or material designation. People are generally attached to various kinds of designations, the designations of family, society, country, occupation, wealth, position, and many others. As long as one is attached to such designations, he is considered materially impure. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designations before one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. Foolish people adore such men who die in national consciousness, but here is an example of Maharaj Yudhishthira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave his world without such national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he was a great pious king, almost on the same level with the personality of Godhead Sri Rama. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious kings, they were happy in all respects, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 41. Vacham Junavam Manasi Tat Prana Itare Chatam Mrityav Apanam Satsargam Tam Panchave He Ajo Havit. Translation. Then he amalgamated all the sense organs into the mina, into the mind, then the mind into life, life into breathing, his total existence into the embodiment of the 5 elements, and his body into death. Then, as pure self, he became free from the material conception of life. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaj Yudhishthira, like his brother Arjun, began to concentrate and gradually become freed from all material bondage. First, he concentrated all the actions of the senses and amalgamated them into the mind, or in other words, he turned his mind toward the transcendental service of the Lord. He prayed that since all material activities are performed by the mind in terms of actions and reactions of the material senses, and since he was going back to Godhead, the mind would wind up its material activities and be turned towards the transcendental service to the Lord. There was no longer a need for material activities. Actually, the activities of the mind cannot be stopped, for they are the reflection of the eternal soul. But the quality of the activities can be changed from matter to the transcendental service of the Lord. The material color of the mind is changed when one washes it from contamination of life breathing and thereby frees it from the contamination of repeated births and deaths, and situates it in pure spiritual life. All is manifested by the temporary embodiment of the material body, which is a production of the mind at the time of death. And if the mind is purified by practice of transcendental loving service to the Lord and is constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no more chance of the mind's producing another material body after death. It will be freed from absorption in material contamination. The pure soul will be able to return home back to Godhead.
Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 42. Tritve hutva cha panchatvam tak chaitve juhno muni sarvam atmani ajuhavid brahmani atmanam avyaye. Tritve, into the 3 qualities, hutva, having offered, cha, also, panchatvam, 5 elements, tat, that, cha, also, ekatve, in one nescience, ajuhot, amalgamated, munih, the thoughtful, sarvam, the sum total, atmani, in the soul, ajuhavit, fixed, brahmani, unto the spirit, atmanam, the soul, avyaye, unto the inexhaustible. Translation. Thus, annihilating the gross body of 5 elements into the 3 qualitative modes of material nature, he merged them in one nescience and then absorbed that nescience in the self, Brahman, which is inexhaustible in all circumstances. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All that is manifested in the material world is the product of the Mahat Tattva Avyakta, and things that are visible in our material vision are nothing but combinations and permutations of such variegated material products. But the living entity is different from such material products. It is due to the living entity's forgetfulness of his eternal nature as eternal servitor of the Lord, and his false conception of being a so-called Lord of the material nature, that he is obligated to enter into the existence of false sense enjoyment. Thus, a concomitant generation of material energies is the principal cause of the mind's being materially affected. Thus, the gross body of 5 elements is produced. Maharaja Yudhishthira reversed the action and merged the 5 elements of the body in the 3 modes of material nature. The qualitative distinction of the body as being good, bad, or mediocre is extinguished, and again the qualitative manifestations become merged in the material energy, which is produced from a false sense of the pure living being. When one is thus inclined to become an associate of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, in one of the innumerable planets of the spiritual sky, especially in Goloka Vrindavana, one has to think always that he is different from the material energy. He has nothing to do with it, and he has to realize himself as pure spirit, Brahman, qualitatively equal with the Supreme Brahman, Parameshwara. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after distributing his kingdom to Parikshit and Vajra, did not think himself emperor of the world or head of the Kuru dynasty. This sense of freedom from material relations as well as freedom from the material engagement of the gross and subtle encirclement makes one free to act as the servitor of the Lord. Even though one is in the material world, this stage is called the Jivana Mukta stage, or the liberated stage even in the material world. That is the process of ending material existence. One must not only think that he is Brahman, but must also act like Brahman. One who only thinks himself Brahman is an impersonalist. One who acts like Brahman is the pure devotee.
Text 43. Chiravasa niraharo bhadavan muktamur tajaha darshayanatmano rupam jadonmata pishachavat anaveksha mano niragad Ashnivan Badiro Yata Chiravasa accepted torn clothing. Nirahara gave up all solid food stuff. Badhavak stopped talking. Mukta Murdajaha untied his hair. That Shayan began to show Atmanaha of himself, Rupam, bodily features, Jada, inert, Unmata, mad. Pishachavat, just like an urchin. Anavekshamanaha, without waiting for Niragat, was situated. Ash, Ashravan without hearing. Badiraha, just like a deaf man, yet as if. Translation. After that, Maharaj Yudhishthira dressed himself in torn clothing, gave up eating all solid foods, voluntarily became dumb and let his hair hang loose. All this combined to make him look like an urchin or a madman with no occupation. He did not depend on his brothers for anything, and just like a deaf man, he heard nothing. Purport. Thus, being freed from all external affairs, he had nothing to do with imperial life or family prestige, and for all practical purposes, he posed himself exactly like an inert, mad urchin, and did not speak of material affairs. He had no dependence on his brothers, who had all along been helping him. This stage of complete independence from everything is also called the purified stage of fearlessness. Udicim praviveshasham gata purvam mahatma pi hridi brahma param dhyayan navartetaya togata. Udicim, the northern side. Pravivesha, Assam, those who wanted to enter there. Gata Purvam, the path accepted by his forefathers. Mahatma Bi, by the broad-minded. Hridi, within the heart. Brahma, the supreme. Param, Godhead. Dhyayan, constantly thinking of. Na avartete, past his days. Yata, wherever. Gata, went. Translation. He then started towards the north, treading the path accepted by his forefathers and great men, to devote himself completely to the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he lived in that way wherever he went. Purport. It is understood from this verse that Maharaj Yudhishthira followed in the footsteps of his forefathers and the great devotees of the Lord. We have discussed many times before that the system of Varnashrama Dharma, as it was strictly followed by the inhabitants of the world, specifically by those who inhabited the Aryavatra province of the world, emphasizes the importance of leaving all household connections at a certain stage of life. The training and education was so imparted, and thus a respectable person like Maharaj Yudhishthira had to leave all family connection for self-realization and going back to God. No king or respectable gentleman would continue family life till the end, because that was considered suicidal and against the interest of perfection of human life. In order to be free from all family encumbrances and devote oneself 100% in the devotional service of Lord Krishna, this system is always recommended for everyone because it is the path of authority. The Lord instruction in the Bhagavad Gita 18.62. that one must become a devotee of the Lord at least in the last stage of one's life. A sincere soul of the Lord, like Maharaj Yudhishthira, must abide by this instruction of the Lord for his own interest. The specific words Brahma Param indicate Lord Sri Krishna. This is corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 10.13 by Arjuna with reference to great authorities like Asita, Devala, Narada and Vyasa. Thus Maharaj Yudhishthira, while leaving home for the north, constantly remembered Lord Shri Krishna within himself, following in the footsteps of his forefathers, as well as the great devotees of all times.
Text 45, Canto 1, Chapter 15. Sarvetam anu nirchagmar भ्रतराः कृतनिश्चयः कालिन्दिना धर्ममित्रेण दृष्ट्वा स्पृष्टा प्रजा भुवि. Survey all his younger brothers, Tam, him, Anu, Nirjagamu, left home by following the elder. Brataraha, brothers, Kritanishchayaha, decidedly. Kalina, by the age of Kali. Adharma, principles of religion. Mitrena, by the friend. Drishtva, observing. Sprushtaha, having overtaken. Prajaha, all circumstance, all citizens. Bhuvi, on the earth. Translation.
The younger brothers of Mangala Aarti observed that the age of Kali had already arrived throughout the world, and that the citizens of the kingdom were already affected by religious practice. Therefore, they decided to follow in the footsteps of their elder brother.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The younger brothers of Maharaja Yudhishthira were already obedient followers of the great emperor, and they had sufficiently been trained to know the ultimate goal of life. They therefore decidedly followed their eldest brother in rendering devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. According to the principles of Sanatana Dharma, one must retire from family life after half the duration of life is finished, and must engage himself in self-realization. But the question of engaging oneself is not always decided. Sometimes retired men are bewildered about how to engage themselves for the last days of life. Here is a decision by authorities like the Pandavas. All of them engaged themselves in favorably culturing the devotional service of the Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to Swami Sridhara, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, or fruitive activities, philosophical speculations, and salvation, as conceived by several persons, are not the ultimate goal of life. They are more or less practiced by persons who have no information of the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is already indicated by the Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita 18.64, and the Pandavas were intelligent enough to follow it without hesitation.
Srimad Bhagavatam 1:15-46. Te sadhu krit sarvatha gyantva tyantikam atmana manasa dharyam asur vaikuntha charanam bhujam. Translation. They all had performed all the principles of religion, and as a result rightly decided that the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna are the supreme goal of all. Therefore, they meditated upon his feet without interruption. Purport by Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Bhagavad Gita 7:28, the Lord says that only those who have done pious deeds in previous lives and have become freed from the results of all impious acts can concentrate upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. The Pandavas, not only in this life but also in their previous lives, had always performed the supreme pious work, and thus they are ever free from all the reactions of impious work. It is quite reasonable, therefore, that they concentrated their minds upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti, Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha principles are accepted by persons who are not free from the results of impious action. Such persons affected with the contaminations of the above four principles cannot at once accept the lotus feet of the Lord in the spiritual sky. The Vaikuntha world is situated far beyond the material sky. The material sky is under the management of Durga Devi, or the material energy of the Lord, but the Vaikuntha world is managed by the personal energy of the Lord.
Canto 1, Chapter 15, text 47 to 48. Tadagyano dhritya bhaktya vishuddha dhisha nahapare tasmina narayana pade ekantamatayo gatim avapurdurravapamte asadbhi irvishanatmabhihi vidhutakalpam kalmasha sthanam virajenatmanaivahi. Tat, that, dhyana, positive meditation, utriktaya, being freed from, bhaktya, by a devotional attitude, vishuddha, purified, dishana, by intelligence, pare, unto the transcendence, tasmin, in that, Narayana, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, pade, unto the lotus feet, ekanta mataya, of those who are fixed in the Supreme, who is one, gatim, destination, avapuh, attained, duravapam, very difficult to obtain, te, by them, asabdhi, by the materialists, vishaya atmabhihi, absorbed in material needs, vidhuta, washed off, kalmashaha, material contaminations, sthanam, abode, virajena, without material passion, atmana eva, by the self-same body, he, certainly. Translation: thus by pure consciousness, due to constant devotional remembrance, they attained the spiritual sky, which is ruled over by the Supreme Narayana, Lord Krishna. This is attained only by those who meditate upon the one Supreme Lord without deviation. This abode of the Lord Sri Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavana, cannot be attained by persons who are absorbed in the material conception of life. But the Pandavas, being completely washed off all material contamination, attained that abode in their very same bodies. Purport: according to Srila Jiva Goswami, a person freed from the three modes of material qualities, namely goodness, passion and ignorance, and situated in transcendence, can reach the highest perfection of life without change of body. Srila Sanatana Goswami, in his Hari Bhakti Vilasa, says that a person, whatever he may be, can attain the perfection of a twice born Brahmana by undergoing the spiritual disciplinary actions under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Exactly as a chemist can turn gunmetal into gold by chemical manipulation. It is therefore the actual guidance that matters in the process of becoming a Brahmana, even without change of body, or in going back to Godhead without change of body. Srila Jiva Goswami remarks that the word he used in this connection positively affirms this truth, and there is no doubt about the factual position. The Bhagavad Gita 14.26 also affirms this statement of Srila Jiva Goswami, when the Lord says that anyone who executes devotional service systematically without deviation can attain the perfection of Brahman by surpassing the contamination of the three modes of material nature. And when the Brahman perfection is still more advanced by the self-same execution of devotional service, there is no doubt at all that one can attain the supreme spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavana, without change of body, as we have already discussed in connection with the Lord's returning to his abode without a change of body.
Viduropi parityaja prabhaste deha matmanaha Krishna veshena tachita pidubhi svashayam yayo.
Vidura, the uncle of Maharaja Yudhishthira, Api also, Parityajya, after quitting the body, Prabhase, in the place of pilgrimage at Prabhasa, Deham Atmanaha, his body, Krishna, the personality of Godhead, Aveshena, being absorbed in that thought, Tat, his, Chittaha, thoughts and actions, Pitribihi, along with the residents of Pitriloka, Svakshayam, his own abode, Yayau, departed.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Vidura, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Prabhasa. Because he was absorbed in the thought of Krishna, he was received by the denizens of Pritloka planet, where he returned to his original boast.
Purport. The difference between the Pandavas and Vidura is that the Pandavas are eternal associates of the Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas Vidura is one of the administrative demigods in charge of the Pitriloka planet and is known as Yamaraja. Men are afraid of Yamaraja because it is he only who awards punishments to the miscreants of the material world. But those who are devotees of the Lord have nothing to fear from him. To the devotees he is a cordial friend, but to the non-devotees he is fear personified. As we have already discussed, it is understood that Yamaraja was cursed by Manduka Muni to be degraded as a Shudra, and therefore Vidura was an incarnation of Yamaraja. As an eternal servitor of the body, he displayed his devotional activities very ardently and lived a life of a pious man. So much so that a materialistic man like Dhritarashtra also got salvation by his instruction. So by his pious activities in the devotional service of the Lord, he was able to always remember the lotus feet of the Lord. And thus he became washed of all contamination of a Shudra-born life. At the end, he was again received by the denizens of Pitriloka and posted in his original position. The demigods are also associates of the Lord without personal touch, whereas the direct associates of the Lord are in constant personal touch with him. The Lord and his personal associates incarnate in many universes without cessation. The Lord remembers them all, whereas the associates forget due to their being very minute parts and parcels of the Lord. They are apt to forget such incidents due to being infinitesimal. That this is corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.5.
Text 50, Canto 1, Chapter 15. Draupadi cha tadagnaya patinam anapekshatam vasudeve bhagavati ekanta mandirapatam. Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, Cha and Tada, at that time,
Agnaya, knowing Lord Krishna fully well. Patinam, of the husbands. Anapekshatam, who did not care for her. Vasudevi, unto Lord Vasudeva Krishna. Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead. He, exactly. Ekanta, absolutely. Mati, concentration. Apa, God. Tam, him, the Lord. Translation. Translation? Read the translation or not? Yeah. Come here. Draupadi.
Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were living home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva Krishna of personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed those thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When flying on an airplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane. And if there is any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. Similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. The help is, however, offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband, and others can all render help during one's lifetime. But while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize the instruction formerly received. Draupadi had 5 husbands, and no one asked Draupadi to come. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same result as their husbands, in the same manner. That is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result, and none of them had to quit the body.
Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 51. Yah shraddhayaitad bhagavat priyanam pandoh sutanamiti samaprayanam shrunotyalam swatstayanam pavitram labdva haro bhaktim upaiti siddhim. Yaha, anyone who shraddhaya, with devotion, etat, this, bhagavat, priyanam, of those who are very dear to the personality of Godhead, pandoha, of Pandu, sutanam, of the sons, iti, thus, samprayanam, departure for the ultimate goal, shrinoti, hears, alam, only, swastayanam, good fortune, pavitram, perfectly pure, labdhava, by obtaining, harav, unto the Supreme Lord, bhaktim, devotional service, upaiti, gains, siddhim, perfection. Translation: the subject of the departure of the sons of Pandu for the ultimate goal of life back to Godhead is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, Anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. Purport: Srimad Bhagavatam is a narration about the personality of Godhead and the devotees of the Lord like the Pandavas. The narration of the personality of Godhead and his devotees is absolute in itself, and thus to hear it with a devotional attitude is to associate with the Lord and constant companions of the Lord. By the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one can attain the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead without failure. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the first canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Pandavas Retire Timely. Somewhere?
Chapter 16. How Parikshit received the age of Kali. Text 1. Sudha vacha tata Parikshit Dvijavarya Sikshaya Mahim Mahabha Gavata Shashai Yata hi Sutyam Abhijata Kovida Samadhishanve Pramahad Gunastada Guna Sudha Vacha. Sudha Goswami said, Tata, thereafter, Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit, the Dvijavarya, the great twice born Brahmanas, Shikshaya, by their instructions, Mahim, the earth, Bhagavata, the great devotee, Shasha ruled in the past. Yata, as they told, he certainly Sutyam at the time of his birth. Abhijata Kodeva, expert of astrologers at the time of birth. Samadhishan gave their opinions. Vipra, O Brahmanas, Mahat Gunaha, great qualities. Tatra, through to that. Translation. Sudha Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas, Maharaj Parikshit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instructions of the best of the twice born Brahmanas. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by expert astrologers at the time of his birth.
Next page. Purport. At the time of Maharaj Parikshit's birth, the expert astrologer Brahmanas foretold some of his qualities. Maharaj Parikshit developed all those qualities, being a great devotee of the Lord. The real qualification is to become a devotee of the Lord, and gradually all the good qualities worthy of possession develop. Maharaj Parikshit was a Mahabhagavata, or a first-class devotee who was not only well versed in the science of devotion but also able to convert others to become devotees by his transcendental instructions. Maharaj Parikshit was therefore a devotee of the first order, and thus he used to consult great sages and learned Brahmanas who could advise him by the Shastras how to execute the state administration. Such great kings were more responsible than modern elected executive heads because they obliged the great authorities by following their instructions left in Vedic literatures. There was no need for impractical fools to enact daily a new legislative bill and to conveniently alter it again and again to serve some purpose. The rules and regulations were already set forth by great sages like Manu, Yajnavalkya, Parashara and other liberated sages, and the enforcements The rules and regulations were already set forth by great sages like Manu, Yajnavalkya, Parashara and other liberated sages, and the enactments were all suitable for all ages in all places. Therefore, the rules and regulations were standard and without flaw or defect. Kings like Maharaja Parikshit had their council of advisors, and all the members of that council were either great sages or brahmanas of the first order. They did not accept any salary, nor had they any necessity for such salaries. The state would get the best advice without expenditure. They were themselves samadarshi, equal to everyone, both man and animal. They would not advise the king to give protection to man and instruct him to kill the poor animals. Such council members were not fools or representatives to compose a fool's paradise. They were all self-realized souls, and they knew perfectly well how all living beings in the state would be happy both in this life and in the next. They were not concerned with the hedonistic philosophy of eat, drink, be merry and enjoy. They were philosophers in the real sense, and they knew well what is the mission of human life. Under all these obligations, the advisory council of the king would give correct directions, and the king or executive head, being himself a qualified devotee of the Lord, would scrutinizingly follow them for the welfare of the state. The state in the days of Maharaja Yudhishthira or Maharaja Parikshit was a welfare state in the real sense of the term, because no one was unhappy in that state, be he man or animal. Maharaja Parikshit was an ideal king for a welfare state of the world.
Text 2, Canto 1, Chapter 16. Sa uttarasya tanayam upayema iravatim janame jayadim chaturas tasyam utpadayat sustutan. Sa, he, Uttarasya, of King Uttara, Tanayam, daughter, Upayemi, married, Iravatim, Iravati, Janamejaya Adin, headed by Maharaja Janamejaya, Chaturaha, 4, Tasyam, in her, Utpadayat, begot, Sutan, sons. King Parikshit.
King Parikshit married the daughter of King Uttara and begat 4 sons headed by Maharaja Janamejaya.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaja Uttara was the son of Virata and maternal uncle of Maharaja Parikshit. Airavati, being the daughter of Maharaja Uttara, was a cousin sister of Maharaja Parikshit. But cousin brothers and sisters were allowed to get married if they did not belong to the same Gotra or family. In the Vedic system of marriage, the importance of Gotra or family was stressed. Arjuna also married Subhadra, although she was his maternal cousin sister. Janamejaya, one of the Rajarshi kings and the famous son of Maharaja Parikshit. His mother's name was Airavati. According to some Madravati, Maharaja Janamejaya begot 2 sons of the names Gnatanika, and Shankukarna. He celebrated several sacrifices in the Kurukshetra pilgrimage site, and he had three younger brothers named Srutasena, Ugrasena, and Bhimasena too. He invaded Takshala, Ajanta, and he decided to avenge the unlawful curse upon his great father, Maharaja Parikshit. He performed a great sacrifice called Sarpayagna to kill the race of serpents, including the Takshaka, which had bitten his father to death. On request from any influential demigods and sages, he had to change his decision to kill the race of snakes. But despite stopping the sacrifice, he satisfied everyone concerned in the sacrifice by rewarding them properly. In the ceremony, Mahamuni Vasudeva also was present. He personally narrated the history of the battle of Kurukshetra before the king. Later on, by the order of Vasudeva, his disciple Vaisampayana narrated before the king the subject matter of Mahabharata. He was much affected by his great father's untimely death and was very anxious to see him again. And he expressed his desire before the great sage Vasudeva. Vasudeva also fulfilled his desire. His father was present before him, and he worshipped both his father and Vasudeva with great respect and pomp. Being fully satisfied, he most munificently gave charity to the Brahmana present at the sacrifice. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Guru Cherana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma, Bandhamuyi Savadana Mate, Hara Prasadi Bai Bhava Tariya Jai. Krishna Prapti Hoya Ote, गुरुमुखा पद्मवाक्या चिते ते कुरिया क्या नरना कुरियो मानी आशा श्री गुरु चेरानी रति ऐसी उत्तमा गति ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होती अविद्या विनाशा जाते वेदेगा जहाँ राचरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदामा जैनारा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना यह प्रभु कोरो दो यादो मोरे पादा चाया ओ यादेहा मोरे पादा चाय ए बीजास गुसुक त्रिभुवाना लीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय गुरुदेवा नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशातारिणे चैतन्या प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गणधर शिव सदी गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nityai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nityai Gaura Hari Bol, Nityai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
All the time. He opens my darkness eyes and fills my heart with sensual knowledge. He is my Lord after birth, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema and hamlet by me, him. But by him, ignorance is destroyed. Levitic scripture, the sing of his character. O spiritual master, is the ocean of the mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Lokunda Goswami, O master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds.
We take the shelter of your roads.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.